I only said that we're gonna do it as a podcast so that y'all were conscious to not say certain things. That was really it. Like, I don't really care about it being entertaining whatsoever. I just want niggas to know there
Now,
there are certain there's
when you say certain things, you mean I can't say name?
honestly I don't really care if you say the hard ER. That motherfucker don't really bother me. But there are certain names that should not be brought up in conversation. Certain
Are you,
certain
you,
topics, certain names.
you, I, yeah,
I mean, oh shit! I gotta change my fucking be right back screen. God fucking damn it! It says follow me at Twitter at Sooty underscore Tootie, but because of you fucking asshole, I had to change that. All your fucking fault. Cause you were like, ha, you fucking loser, you have underscores in your name and shit. Me, I'm just Dragon Jr. So I had to change my motherfucking name to just Sooty Tootie. Or not Sooty Tootie, Sooty Damas.
yeah, I was gonna
Sooty
say, yeah,
Damas.
Dom.
Fuck,
Hey,
it's all
bro.
your fault. You've
Hey, bro.
ruined my life. Again.
Hmm. Hmm. Dude, shut up.
Life is a
It's,
game. You play it and yeah, you just kind of play it, not gonna lie.
they took $1 from me, but they didn't give me a confirmation. You know that they're gonna put my
I
product on
can't
hold.
wait till this fucking webcam gets here. It'll be so nice. Wow. 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 Actually, I'm gonna change this real quick so that it captures this monitor. Actually, no, I don't want to capture that monitor, do I? Or do I? That'll be fine. I guess I don't fucking know. It's probably fine if it captures this one. Yeah.
Man, it's so hard finding a competent person.
How's your day been, buddy?
Great. I've been trying to find a good competent microphone review,
Should have
but
just got mine, bro.
most of the people reviewing this microphone are
Should just
retarded
got that
kids.
A. Should just got that fucking ATR or ATH. Is it ATR? I don't even fucking remember. It's 2500X, bro. This motherfucker done
Yeah,
lasted me since like what 2013, 2014.
yeah, I was gonna get that microphone, but they didn't have it in stock, so
Yeah, the last time that fucking video I just recorded, I didn't even have to do any fucking noise removal at all, and I didn't hear any static at all. That was like the easiest audio editing I've probably ever fucking done. I'm also happy because like the one thing that I kept getting on that last video was that people were like the audio mixing's off, and so I made sure to pay a lot of attention this time, and I didn't detect any problems this time. I felt like it came out kind of perfect.
uh,
We'll see though. We'll see.
just what up. Howard hit. We just ordered not ordered, but reserved a Razer Siren X microphone, which is
Damn,
it
man.
was pretty cheap.
I didn't
It
get to
was
watch
cheap.
Saturday. I didn't get to watch yesterday Otate. Ooh, I might have to get to that at some point. When did what's it fucking called come out? Everybody's talking about uh the Great Pretender. When the fuck did this come out? I'm gonna have to figure out. I don't
See, Cherry Crews is trending right now.
know. What is?
Cherry Crews.
For? Why?
He, he said he posted something on Twitter.
Keem is too.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
What the fuck is Keem trending?
He had said defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Equality is the truth. Like it or not, we are all in this together.
That's what Keem said?
No. Terry, that's what
Oh.
Terry said.
Huh? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? If George Floyd had COVID-19, the police officers will be found not guilty. How? What? Why? How the fuck does that make any sense? What?
It's because what they've been doing recently is well this is recently before this whole stuff started they were counting some COVID-19 deaths like it doesn't
Oh,
matter
so they're
whether
not
you
going to
died
say
of
that it was as a result of the asphyxiation. They're going to put it that that COVID-19 put him at a crippled health
he died of
state.
COVID.
And
They'll
oh
put
my
yeah,
god, that's fucking retarded.
but I think that might be a joke though.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it's clearly a homicide. The fact that they're already charging it for second-degree murder doesn't. Oh, this article is like 3 days old though. What the fuck? Yeah, but again, like, what the fuck does it matter? That shit's not going to matter.
that's what
What
people
the
were
fuck?
doing when people were dying. If they had, as long as they had COVID-19,
That's
they would have said
fucking
they died of
crazy.
COVID-19.
Yeah, except this is a clear case of fucking murder.
He was murdered, but he died of
Yeah,
COVID-19.
like nigga was clearly out here walking in the streets just fine, just the day before, that day as well, and then like, oh, he dies because the nigga is suffocating his neck, and you're gonna go, oh, he died of COVID. Yeah, he just spontaneously died of COVID. Yeah, he just, you might as well, yeah, niggas might as well just said he just spontaneously combusted. Like, okay, buddy.
Maybe when the dude stood on his neck, like he contracted COVID right there.
Yeah, right there, right then and there, and then his lungs spontaneously combusted and he died. Wow. Whoever would have thought?
It's crazy that Mitt Romney is protesting for Black Lives Matter. Did you see that?
This nigga Terry Crews is just like, bro. Sometimes people just say shit, and I don't feel like they like say it out loud.
I don't think they think about. Yeah, they just like.
Somebody said some I think it was Kyle Bossman, and he was like, look, what you should. Oh no, it wasn't Kyle Bossman. It was Anthony Fantano, and he was like, one thing that you should do when you make like rap lyrics is say it back to yourself in a condescending tone, and if you cringe at it or you think it sounds stupid, don't use it. This motherfucker should have done the same thing, bro. Oh my god, niggas need to really start following that one. Creates black supremacy. That's okay. Ay ay ay. I did go downtown though. It was more active, much more active today than when I went down there. But yeah, it's like I didn't see too many protests or protests at the circle. They were just kind of all peacefully gathered around. Somebody was giving a speech. A lot of people there. Not nearly as much as before I'd assume, but I didn't go down there when the protests were actually happening. Uh, I did see a lot of buildings downtown are super boarded up though. That is one thing that I did notice. And the first time I saw that, it was just like a white, or it was a subway that I didn't know was boarded up, but I was like, ah, fuck it, whatever, that's fine. But now there's like a ton. There's like a CVS. There's like a White Castle. There's a bunch of stuff downtown that's just all fucked. There's one street where everything's boarded up, and there's some graffiti kind of everywhere, just like Black Lives Matter and BLM and blah 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 blah. So on one hand, I was like, oh yeah, cool. Oh yeah, and then we got downtown and there was we were pulling up to a stoplight. No, this wasn't in. They weren't talking to us, but there was just some nigga that just walked by with his friend. He was just like, "Hey, fuck 12!" Just slammed a fucking rock on the ground. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But yeah, it's about my furthest experience with the fucking riots. or not riots, but with protesting and stuff.
Did he just? Oh, he just deleted this tweet. I got a screenshot of.
He said I need an animated binge.
Huh? Oh,
Heavenly
he
Controller
said.
was like, I need an animated binge. I was like, really? Crucible is removing 2 of its 3 game modes. I didn't know niggas really played that game. I didn't really touch it. I just saw Black Okage play it for like 5 minutes and said, I'm out. Bye bye. What am I looking at here? This is Jason Tatum mixed with whose face? Who the fuck is this? Who is this? Jason Tatum with who? Is that Chris Paul? This has JaVale McGee and Russell Westbrook, it looks like, in this bottom right. Oh my god, some of these are fucking disgusting. Get me out of here. This is awful. What the hell? This is actually disturbing. I hate it here. I fucking hate it here. Man, where's Keith? So I can fucking complain about not having railgun for like 2 months. It really done gotten fucking tough out here. I'm damn near about to go in there and get some more chicken real quick.
Keith is idle at them. Who's in an idle state, standing still, not moving, not thinking, just idle.
Don't stop this I wonder where Popo thinks he stands at with his girl, cause he left a comment on that video that was like oh, there's Keith. Hello Keith, how are you? Yeah, Popo left a comment on that video that was just like the part where I said you can't just keep screaming through the ashes of the burnt bridge. Like at some point you have to kind of like face away and accept it. And he was like, that part hit me different. And he said he didn't know where he was at. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I was like, cause I feel like he's not gotten to the point where he's just kind of like screaming at nothingness, cause there's no bridge that's been burnt.
Yeah, cause I would say for both of us, besides like you guys and like I guess a couple other people who aren't in this Discord, like we haven't even completed bridges with people like.
That's what I was about to say. I was about to say like maybe the better metaphor for this guy is that like he's trying to walk across the bridge and it's like pitch black and he didn't bring a flashlight, so he's scared to keep walking and then like drop off the motherfucker like.
Either that, or he's waiting, or it's like the bridge has to be like you gotta construct, like you can only construct your half and you gotta wait for the other person to construct theirs. And,
yeah.
Like, you kind of just waiting at the edge of your side's all done and pretty, and then you're just waiting, watching the other person.
Yeah, you just like so.
They never want to finish, so you're
so
like,
you got.
I guess we can break it down over here.
Yeah.
They're not coming.
I feel that.
At least that's what it is for me. It's like I build my bridges fast, but like if you don't build your half, then it's kind of like
I'm just sitting here.
Guess we gotta break it down. Find another.
I really look like Bob the Builder out here with all these fucking bridges laid everywhere.
I swear to God, dude. That's how it be. I feel like most people don't even think about like it's this no new friends mentality people have once they hit like high school and above.
That's kind of interesting because for me it was more like once I hit college, it wasn't like the thought process of I'm gonna make new friends didn't go through my head so much as it was I can start over because I don't have to assume everybody here is a fucking moron. Like I don't have to make implications about people. We're starting fresh technically, and we'll just see where that goes. So,
I mean, I felt that too. So like, I definitely have like new bridges that I built here in college, but I mean like the high school mentality of like you're not purposely not trying to make new friends, but like almost they're subconsciously too scared to. Like you've already got your comfort circle and you don't want to reach out any farther.
Oh, that's fair. I guess for me in high school, I didn't make anybody that I'd considered like a close friend. I'd say I'd met and made good acquaintanceships in bridges with people that I still talk to now, but nobody that I would consider a close friend.
Oh yeah, facts. Cause like literally
like
from
buddies.
high school, there's
Yeah.
only 2 people I still talk to, and that's Marcus and the dude who's my roommate last year.
Yeah, like I only talk occasionally to Khalid, and that's
And
it.
Sanaya, but
Like I don't talk to anybody else. Yeah, I don't have beef with anybody for the most part, but I don't really talk to anybody.
Oh yeah, never have beef. There's no reason. But it sucks though, cause like I said, like I built my half, and I was like, dang, bro, that's tough. I didn't think it was like that, but okay, cool.
Sitting here chilling, barbecuing. Maybe you'll come across when you fucking smell the charred hot dogs.
I see how it is.
Or maybe if I tell you there's a fly on the fucking hot dog, we'll get
Oh,
Will over
shut
here
up.
instead. Where's that picture? Where's that picture? I still can't believe this nigga Bobo was just taking random ass pictures of women at fucking Subways, my nigga. Big question marks? Is this your mom? What the fuck?
Sudi.
I don't even know what Zion's mom looks like.
Search up Sudi in the YouTube bar.
Okay. Am I gonna regret this? I know that if I search up my name, I end up finding like a bunch of other random shit. Okay, my channel appears somewhat. So there's like Magazine Sudi audio from 2004, Mahi Koab Sudi Palinu Jagaya Mahi and live show.
What are you doing? Searching my channel?
No, I just searched Sudi. You do know that it works differently, right? Oh, hello. How you doing, Corey?
Yo, I just came here to say, Sudi, maybe my clout has gone too far.
I saw that fucking tweet you put up for the ReZero thing. I was like, damn, this motherfucker blew. I was like, he was not just blowing like this. He was just having like 20 likes ish on a post, and then that one I wake up and it's at like 120 when I wake up. I'm like, what in the fuck? Now it's at 400. Jesus Christ.
Dude, well, I've gotten like 150 on a Kaguya one and like 120 on a Hibike one, but never anything like this. I gained 100 followers.
Jesus Christ, you really just out here
I was just like, listen, man, this has been just on my mind. That's it. For like eternity. So I was just like, I'm just gonna type about it. My nigga had a store. And then I wake up and I'm just like, huh? This is the one that gets all the likes?
That's
ReZero fans, bro, they be...
Yeah, ReZero fans are kind of out of that. Yeah, they're over here like, damn, our shit got delayed again. I'm one of them niggas. I read the post.
Like,
I was just
we'll
like,
just take any ReZero content we get, nigga.
Yeah, we just like, damn, bro. Like, I wasn't finna sit through the whole director's cut. I was just trying to find the new scenes, and the only thing that I had found of significance was just the scene at the very end. That's it.
Yeah, a lot of it was
but I already knew about that.
Some scenes. That's it.
That's kind of what I had supposed, because the first episode had literally no differences at all. So, and the second episode didn't have much either. So I just said, yeah, fuck it. We'll just have to wait, and we'll see what happens.
There's actually on my anime list, they actually kept track of what was different. I think. Let's see. Before I head back to where I was, I just thought I'd come in here because you're always on my cloud chasing shenanigans. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, okay, I think I found it. Yep, so this is basically just an entire page just saying what's new in the director's cut, and all of it is just elongated footage.
Oh, what the fuck?
For the most part.
There we go. She pauses and looks off into the distance. In the director's cut, she takes several seconds longer to answer with extended pauses. Oh, I didn't notice that, to be honest. I kind of remembered it happening exactly how it did. We're not looking at the fucking Blu-ray versions. We don't really care about that shit. This is very minor, but in the director's shot, there's an overlooking shot of the city slums that lasts longer than the original. Okay. Communicating with the lesser spirits, Subaru's gauge are extended by several seconds. Yeah, so it's mainly just much more impact, like Blu-ray fidelity.
Like some of it, they did make a change. Like this one right here, they changed the perspective on the sword, so it's better. So this one's like Subaru's holding like a giant like whatever the fuck you call that.
I never even noticed that in the original version. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like this is exactly what I'm talking about. Though this is exactly what I mean. Like it's just like a Blu-ray touch-up, damn near, with some added sequences, but there's not much added. It's basically a Blu-ray touch-up. Like, yeah, I'm scrolling down the list. I don't really see. Unlike the previous episodes, the opening theme is entirely cut out of the director's cut version. It transitions
it seems
to
like
shot.
they changed out this episode where Subaru's taking a beating. Quite.
Yeah, a lot of extended cuts and whatnot for whatever reasons.
The graphics.
Yeah. The writing on Subaru's cast is completely different. This was originally updated in the Blu-ray version. Okay. Some slight changes in dialogue, but nothing big. Nothing that changes the entire meaning of something, just slight, yeah. He mocked the chivalry we practice versus he made light of the chivalry we practice. The death penalty to this insubordinate man who salted the knighthood's honor. The death penalty to this insubordinate man who has salted the knighthood's honor. Alright, buddy. Just the one word fucking change. Changing it from past to perfect. Past perfect or whatever. Jesus Christ, that's a lot more fucking visceral though. Damn. Ha! That shot where Subaru's beat up as he's trying to fight Julius or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That shot is very fucking different. That's visceral. Holy shit. Hold on. Damn. Oh yeah, you put it already. You already put it. Yep. Yeah. That's pretty disgusting. Like, ha! That's fucking hilarious. It's brutal though. Bigger smile. We got. Let me see. And then nothing else. Not much. We'll keep looking, but not much.
Okie dokie. Well, I'm gonna have to go back. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, we'll see you later. Good job clouting it up.
Okay. I'll see ya. See ya, folks.
Yep.
See ya. My man is living life, bro.
I am kind of curious about if he's gonna go into because he's been clouting up so fucking hard, right? And he doesn't do YouTube videos anymore. If he's going to try to be like one of them fucking anime Twitter influencers or whatever, right? Or maybe, or at this point, like, right? I mean, like, yeah, right? Because at some point, if his Twitch keep doing numbers like this shit, or they get bigger, he'll eventually end up getting big enough to the point he can get sponsorships and shit from like Crunchyroll, start getting invited to events. And it's not like he's doing a ton right now in terms of like job and stuff. Like, he's almost out of college, so and he said, he made a tweet that was like, yeah, and considering that I'm going to be spending my life like analyzing literature or whatever and blah 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 blah, so I'd assume that like he probably wouldn't even mind that, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's what his end goal is though. I have no clue about that.
Possibly.
Yeah, could be nice. So
I mean, you can do with that English major, so. Yeah.
That's the main reason I started like making music. Like, yes, I enjoy making music, and yes, I think I'm not like super good yet, but I definitely have potential. But then at the same time, I'm like, I need something else that I can do besides this dance degree that I'm out here trying to get.
I was over here thinking just like earlier today, I was like, well damn, if I can make videos and they were always that fucking fun to make, then yeah, I wouldn't mind getting big and doing this for a living. But the problem is, I know for a fact that once I get big enough, I'm gonna stop and then I'm gonna want to go do something else. So I was like, I quit.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
I switch up quick. For real. I be having mood swings when it comes to like what I want to do. Sometimes. Even though I always come back to it.
Alright. So I've been thinking, right? So
Okay.
a person has kids, right? And like
Wait, you said
thinking
what?
so think about like your past experience, your life experiences, right? Like if you're a person to have a kid, and like you're thinking about like all the shit you had to do to end up to this point, how you think you gonna encourage your kid to do all that shit?
Honestly, for me, I don't think I can, cause no cap, I've definitely learned
Make them homeless.
more from from a combination of not learning from my parents and like learning indirectly from my parents. So what they didn't do is what I learned from them more necessarily. So like I don't have anything like at least right now to directly say to them to try and guide them, but like I'm literally in the mindset of like let's just see where this goes. Like I'm gonna put my heart in the cards for this one, Code.
How you stop your kid from becoming a drug addict?
Yeah,
You
that
don't raise them around that type of environment. I mean, that's really the simplest answer. You get into a good environment or environment that does not have those type of people. You continue to raise them as if your parents were raising you, or I mean, whatever barometer you want to use to raise your children or whatnot, and that generally speaking should help prevent them from it. I mean, there are other things that may happen like peer pressure and stuff like that, but if you put your child in the right environment, chances are that type of encounter won't come up via peer pressure anyways. So
yeah.
now I know for me, like that's not really something I've really ever thought of because one of the reasons why I said I don't want a kid is because I'm a fucking narcissist, right? And what happens in that regard, right, is that if I'm either going to do one of two things. It's either I'm going to expect a ton out of the fucking kid and put him up to rather unrealistic standards, or I'm not going to. Or and the problem with that idea, right, is that once he starts getting to certain standards, if I feel as if he's encroaching upon my status, then I'm going to start prohibiting him because, like, then I would feel inferior, and that's fucking wrong. The other thing is, like, I don't expect nearly as much from him or her, I guess, and as a result, I just end up kind of looking down on them and being a fucking asshole like usual. So, I mean, that was always the primary reason why I always went like that. I meant like the at first one of the reasons was I just don't want to spend the money on a fucking kid, right? But now it's more like I wouldn't mind spending the money on a kid because I don't doubt that I probably could make enough to do it. It's more just like I understand the complications that result from me being so fucking narcissistic, and I probably would not be well off being a parent. Even though I think I could be a good example.
I imagine like raising a kid kind of like a game. Like imagine you're like a high level fucking player, and then you meet this noob, and they're your friend and shit, and then you gotta teach them all the ropes and shit. I feel like I would want them to know everything right then and there, and I would get impatient.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bubba gonna be trying to teach his kid how to read, write, and play League right out the fucking womb.
That's definitely gonna be hard.
Why
For me.
can't you juggle?
That's really
Like,
what I
oh,
want to
shit.
do. I want to teach them so much at a young age because, like, from my experiences, learning shit at a later experience is just ass.
It becomes harder. Yeah, the only thing that I would definitely guarantee is that if my child was ever going to get into any sort of instrument related thing, I would have them start early. I think that's maybe the only thing that I don't know if I'd even say regret because I ended up picking back on it quick. But like I don't. It's not that I can't read piano sheet music. I don't read piano sheet music. Part of that is because, generally speaking, playing instrument is just easier for me by ear because I just know what fucking note to play, and so I don't really care about what the sheet music is. I just know what the fucking notes are. But uh, it would be nice to be able to still read to just sight read stuff fluently, be able to experiment with different arrangements and stuff. So I would.
You can learn a lot more like quicker, but that since
Yeah.
we do it by ear, it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would say that's gonna be hard for me because like I couldn't even teach fucking high schoolers Pythagorean theorem without getting annoyed. I'm like, oh my.
I don't really have a
gosh,
problem
bro.
tutoring people or trying to explain stuff to people. I feel like over the years I've actually since I've gotten a Rose, maybe I've gotten worse at it. Um, Part of that is because when you're around an environment where everything's so technical and all of the speech is so technical, putting things into layman's terms is not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But the thing was, like, for me, the problem wasn't that they couldn't learn it. The problem was that they didn't want to. And as much as I want to be a motivator, I can't freaking do it.
Yeah, they used to always give me that was.
I'm just like, you're either gonna do it or you don't. Like, I really don't care if you fail or succeed because you're not me. So, like, I can't muster up any extra encouragement for other people for the most part.
When I was
Unless
younger,
you show
yeah.
the drive, then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, bet.
I remember when I was younger, I used to get in trouble at school for teachers would fucking get mad at me because I would sometimes just give away answers because everybody always came up to me asking for fucking help. So they'd be like, "Oh, how did you do this?" or "How did you figure this out?" and blah 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 blah. And they'd be like, "No, you are allowed to help them, but don't just give them the answer." And at first, I was just like, "Oh yeah, the answer's 20," because like you don't get it. Like,
I swear to
fuck.
God, I'd be like, nigga,
dude,
what?
we're in first grade. What don't you get, nigga? The fuck?
I swear to God.
And then eventually I started getting to the point where I'd explain it, but I think people just naturally came to me less and more so just looked at me from the background as like, damn, that kid is so fucking smart. And I'm just like, this is so fucking simple. It's like, I'm not even that smart.
I swear to God, people never came to me for academic advice, but people would always come to me for like life advice.
Now, yeah, that's what it is now. Now it's like not nearly as many people will come to me for academic advice. Maybe like, or not academic advice, but academic like help. Maybe like Megna, Will, not you, Will, but like the Will that goes to Rose and like some other people. But it's not many people. But the life advice thing, I'm basically fucking Dr. Phil. Like I might as well just be like a bunch of people psychiatrists at this point. And I honestly prefer that more than just them coming up to me and asking me about a fucking academic question, especially if I'm not doing work. Because if I'm not doing work and you ask me a work question, I'm unfortunately going to be somewhat like aggravated and pinched, regardless of what the context is. I'm just gonna be like, oh, I don't want to think about that. Oh,
That's facts. That's facts. Cause like, I think the only people who ever took my advice and listened though was probably Eric and Popo. Like everybody else, they'll ask, but like they'll still end up going with whatever they thought. And I'm like, all right, I don't know why you asked me. Shit, whatever. I ain't even mad at it. That's the freaking whole reason. Like, old boy Eric got into his last relationship that lasted so long. I was like, bro, you're doing this wrong. And every time they got into a fight, I would just tell them the possibilities and what anything that he did wrong and what he could do better and shit like that. Coming from the nigga with no romantic experience, but I mean, shit, like, I think I know what I'm doing.
I remember in kindergarten, I always asked people for the answers.
I never really needed to. School was a game. I realized school was a game from the jump, and that shit was easy.
Yeah,
it just depends on how much effort I put.
I was super stubborn to ask anybody for help until I got to ramp, and I was like, oh shit, if I don't ask for help, I'm just gonna fail and I'm gonna die. So, hey, I can't stay up for 24 hours every single day. So fuck it, why not? And then I just got to it. Yeah, started working together with people. Beforehand, the reason why I didn't ask for help was partially because like I didn't need it, but on top of that, if say we're doing a group project and I don't necessarily trust my partners, I will do everybody's portion of the group project anyways. So I'll do the whole project by myself anyways. I got in the habit of doing that since I was in really like low grade school, like probably like 4th, 5th grade, right? Yeah, where I would just knock out everybody else's portion of the project after I knocked out mine. And then I'd be like, okay, well, if they suck or if my project's just better, then we'll just do mine. It's fine. It's whatever.
Oh, you're a nice guy. I just let.
It's less of that. It's less that I'm a nice guy, and it's more like, oh, if we're all going to receive the same grade, and I can not burn a bridge that I might be able to use later on, then there's no point in me burning the bridge. I might as well just knock it out since it's going to be so fucking easy anyways. If it were annoying or seemingly what's the word I'm trying to say, like tedious, arduous, or not beneficial or detrimental, then I wouldn't do it, right? But because I didn't perceive it as being uh all that difficult, I just said fuck it, why not, right? There's nothing to really lose here. Like I'm gonna be done with my fucking portion in like 20 minutes. I can knock out the whole project in like 2 hours or less. Like why not? Fuck it. So yeah.
Even though I'm not. I don't know what it is, because it's not even boredom. I get super rebellious when it comes to schoolwork, especially in group projects. Like that's the main. I don't procrastinate because I'm like putting it off, or because I'm bored, or because I just don't want to do it. It's just like I don't know where this stubbornness comes from. Where I'm like, they set a deadline, so I'm gonna just wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait.
Now I'm much more in the habit of just measuring out stuff. How long it's gonna take me to do certain assignments. When I need to start, when I'll probably be finished by, so I don't really mind anymore. And I don't have to do and I don't gotta worry about doing the whole group project thing by myself anymore, because a lot of the time it's like I don't really have to. I basically do all my group stuff with Achintia, who's a guy that goes to my school, and I don't ever have to have any like questions about whether we're gonna get it done or not. So I don't really care. It's more just like, okay, whenever we're gonna meet up, and we're going to do like most of it, if not all of it. Like I remember we did a course in the fall called like PLC, which is like programming language concepts. He carried the fuck out of me through that project, because it wasn't like I didn't understand what was going on, but when we were doing the pair programming, I was confused out of my fucking mind. I just had no clue what the hell was going on, because my brain, it wasn't like I didn't get what we were talking about in class. My brain was just dead as shit, because I've been working on I just been working on graphics all day, every single time that we got there, right? So it's like I get there, we're doing this, I'm brain dead, and I'm trying to fucking think stuff through, and nothing's clicking because my brain's fried. So yeah, that's basically what that was. But then on the other projects, like we've had pretty good experiences. Like the processor, I had to do the majority of, but I don't really blame that on him so much as it's just like everybody in that group had a hard workload, and I just happened to have 3 humanities that quarter, and we did like a computational psych course together, and that was pretty easy. We did that went fine. Like I've never had any issues with him doing group work, so for the first time, I actually have a partner that I can genuinely always rely on for the most part. So it's nice.
I never get upset, but I do get a little, and I don't even want to say annoyed. It's just this like I feel a pressure, because I am a leader that I never wanted to freaking be. So like, especially with all this dance stuff, where like people, whenever we do like group routines, people always look to me to come up with like new ideas and new moves, no matter what class we're in. Like even if it's a freaking ballet class, I was like, y'all know I'm ass. Why are y'all looking at me right now? But like I don't know what it is. Like people just naturally want to ask me to come up with stuff, or like I don't know, they just want me to lead it, and I'm like, and I have to act like I'm tired, so they just kind of.
I just find that I'm naturally put into leadership positions, and it's more like I understand that I'm not to sound braggadocious, but like a natural born leader in most regards,
Exactly.
because I'm able to do mostly everything well, and I'm very composed, and I think about things kind of objectively. But and I kind of have a good read on. I have a good social read, right? As in, I'm not socially illiterate. I'm very socially literate. So it just naturally, I'm naturally put in those positions a lot of the time. But where the fuck was I going with it? There are sometimes that like, what was I trying to say? I guess I usually don't walk in on as a result of my own fruition or choice into a lot of leadership roles, and it's not, and it's like sometimes I'll do it like I mean, what's a good fucking example though? Sometimes if I just perceive nobody's gonna fucking do it, and uh, there's got to be somebody that does it, I'll just do it because I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't I do it? Of course I can do it. What the hell? And then there are other times where I just think I'm there's somebody who's already been elected for the position or whatnot. Uh, they kind of show a level of incompetence, and then I just try to be their right hand man, and that ends up putting me in the position at some point, and then people just ignore that person. So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I know, in high school, I ended up becoming track captain after only the first year, and I was captain for 2 years, both of my last years running, and I only ran 1 year before, um, and they basically everybody on the team always listened to me, and the sprinters in particular never listened to the fucking like other captains. So there were three captains. There was like one for each section of the team. So you have like the female. It's not females. It's like the male sprinters, or I guess the sprinters basically in general, but I guess primarily male sprinters, the distance kids, and then like the throwers and whatnot. And everybody always fucking listened to me. But the sprinters in particular were just like, why are you talking to me? You're not my captain. Come on, Steven, what do you want us to do? Specifically, Khalid would always do this. So I'd be like, why are you starting shit, dog? Why are you doing this?
Facts.
Yeah. I didn't necessarily, I actually kind of enjoyed it. I don't think I had anything profound about my leadership style. I'm more of just like a lead by example guy. Or if you come to me and you need advice and help, I'll help. But I typically like unless I feel that your issues are clearly causing a problem for everybody else and are going to be something that holds us all back, I typically won't confront you. I'll just see if you can figure it out, and if you can't, then I'll point you in the right direction. But
I think that's where I have a hard time because I have no finesse. I would say when it comes to like explaining when someone's like not in the wrong but like doing something wrong, but it's obvious that they're like real insecure about it. I'm like, ah, shit. Like,
pointing people in the addressing and pointing people in the right direction. Yeah, I don't think I've really ever had too much of a problem with that. There are sometimes with people that I think that can just handle it where I'll just be blatantly fucking honest. Like with you guys, like when we're playing something like Siege, I remember there was only one time I got pissed at you. I don't remember what that shit was. I was screaming hard as shit at you, bro. But like I think that was maybe the only time I fucking exploded on one of y'all like that fucking hard. I don't even remember what the context of the situation was. But I guess like I'm more blatant with you guys because I don't feel like I have to hint the words that I'm just like, no, they'll get it. They'll understand. We'll be fine. It's whatever. With other people, I'm tactful about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely clear for us. That's why like I can like be myself here because it's clear that we realize that we have strengths and we, especially in a video game, like I know when I did wrong. We all know when I did wrong. Even I.
He said we all know.
So it's like I just like there's no reason to be like try and kind of like keep my ego up or try and defend back when it's like I can see my own weakness in that moment where it's like, okay, and like for us, we'll be the first ones to say like, yeah, my bad, like I definitely
it'd be like shit, I should have won that, my bad. Big chokes, like, big fucks.
But it's so funny, it's so crazy to me how most people like outside of us is just not like that. Like they can't admit their faults and try and grow past that. They'll just try and cover it up with some type of ego. Well, all their ego, and I'm like,
did this nigga say bitches?
Cause like example, there's this one girl who's a dance major, and she's a freshman. She's like fucking 23, 24. And we're like, oh, fuck this bitch. But like, she is ass at every style you can think of. She cannot dance, and she's made it clear that she's pretty much doing this for fun. It's like every other dance major is like in it to like.
God,
we're
I hate it when like, niggas used to do that for sports. Yeah, when niggas will hit you with the "I'm just here to stay in shape. I'm just here to have fun." Nah, nigga, I'm not about that. That's cool. You can have fun winning and working your ass off, bitch. Cause I'm not losing.
That's what I'm like. Cause she's like
that shit's not gonna happen.
And she's transferred from like 3 or 4 different colleges. Like I guess every year or whatever. But now she's with us, and we're like. But obviously, like we are very hardworking, and we're like very competent on each of our respective styles, if not more than one. And then we were in hip hop class, right? And this is me. Like everybody knows that's me. Like if you like, that's what I do, and I'm pretty much the best at it at the school, in the department. And it's like we had to do a basic hip hop routine. We had to come up with like 16 to 32 counts of something, and she was in my group, and I was already like, fuck, I'm angry because now I gotta work with her, and I know she's, and it's like, and it's just like, and then I also, it was three of us, so it was me, her, and then this other girl who I can tell like she knows in herself, and she would talk about it all the time. She does not excel in hip hop, and it's not her preferred style. But she was very open minded and understanding, and understood that like nigga, I do this, and I can help you if you like. I can help people with simpler moves, or if need me to explain anything that's gone through the class. So like for her, it was easy. And like her accepting her weakness in hip hop made it so much easier for us to get through the routine. But on the other hand, this other bitch who was complete trash, no potential at all, 0%. It's like I'm 100% sure she is not going to succeed if she tries to do something with hip hop later in life. But it's like she's always trying to act like she knows everything, and she's bossing us around as if I'm not like I've been doing this since I was like 3, 4. Who are you talking to? Like I will, but I and it's like for me, it's like I'm either gonna hit that and disrespect you, or I'm just gonna ignore you. And I just chose to ignore it because I was like, I do not want to get kicked out of this school because like I will lay the truth down in a heartbeat.
But she said she was doing it for fun, so why is she bossing y'all around?
That's what we're like, bro. How like if it's so weird. She's so
She got money. She rich. Why her parents
I
putting her
don't
in a
know if she's
major
I don't know if
and she
she's
doing it for fun?
rich, but like I don't know, bro. She's like okay. Let me give you a picture of what this person's like. So we were had a music class, right? And she would eat this like I don't know what the. Oh, I didn't never looked, but I could smell it, and I was like, oh, that's not human food. I don't think that's definitely not
Like
something I
this.
smelled before. And she has which I don't know what she calls them, but they're like rocks, special rocks, I guess, for like energies and things. She's that kind of person. I'm like, oh my god,
Crystal meth. That's what I think of when
I'm
you say
gonna
rocks
no,
for
like she's
energy.
us like us rocks that she assorts for like I guess meditation, but I
Oh,
doubt
she want a damn nigga.
she
She
one
like
of them. I'm like, yo, you're weird, coach. Oh, she's also old girl, like a girl. Actually, the same girl who I was in a group with. She stepped on a ladybug, cause like our studio was infested with those things for like a while, and she stepped on a ladybug, and she saw her do it, and she was like pressing her about stepping on this ladybug, and she was like, we're all like, you're really fighting for this ladybug right now? It's what? She was like being so serious, like, how would you feel if you were that ladybug fucking getting stomped on by someone in so much more power than you? I was
Well,
like,
I wouldn't feel shit
what?
because I'd be dead and squished, nigga.
Exact. I'm
I
like,
might
what
feel
is
the
going
only thing
on,
I'm feeling are my
coach?
organ squashing, nigga, and then I'm
I'm,
done. I'm out of here.
what is
What
motherfucker
you
at the
wrong?
mean?
wrong place at the wrong time.
I'm like,
Shit.
and I'm telling you, like, these ladybugs are everywhere, bro. I don't think they are anymore, but they were for that couple weeks. And I'm like, I wasn't there for it, but she told that story, and I was like, dude, no, bro, she's weird. I will give her she's got flexibility, but that's it. Like she's good. Like she seems to be good at yoga, even though she's still trash because her technique is ass. But like she's got the flexibility to make it look like she's good at yoga, and we're like, oh gosh, bro.
So what you saying is she got piping potential.
No sir, she ugly.
No sir.
Her
Damn.
faded, her like she got
Big
short
L's
hair,
in
like
chat.
short hair shorter than mine, bro. Like
Why nigga you damn near
yeah,
have a fucking buzz cut? What, bro?
exactly, coach. She's like army type shit. That's what it looked like.
Oh, damn.
She's not in army, but that's what her haircut looks like. She
Oh
weird, bro.
man.
And she's got a lazy eye, like an extreme lazy eye. Like she'll look at you and you're like, bro, I can't tell if she's looking at me. Like she's standing like 2 inches, not 2 inches, that's too close. But like she's like 2 feet away from you looking at you. You're like, okay, is she looking at me or is she looking like fucking up? I don't know what the fuck is going on. She cannot make eye contact. It's like, oh my god. There was one time she was talking to me and I was looking at her and I could hear her perfectly fine, but I was just standing there like, bro, what the fuck is she looking at? Like, it's her lazy. I was like, dude. she's not looking at me. Like you can just tell. Like when people got that crazy lazy eye and they're looking at you, they don't look like they're looking at you. I was about to be disrespectful. Nah, but I already told myself if she lashes out at me again, I'm like, I'm definitely about to put her in her place.
The right way, not the wrong way.
Of course not. I would never hit a woman yet.
That's
I'm
not what I
kidding.
meant.
Ah!
Nah, I'm kidding.
He's in his face.
No, but seriously, like she's made me like that's how mad and aggravating all of us get. We just want to strike her, bro. We got to that level of
Oh,
energy.
yes.
Right.
I've entered my wife beating domestic violence phase.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just not.
Keep your hoes away from me before they get slammed over the kitchen counter. You know, head
It's
first.
the kind of person where you're
the
like,
baby style.
she's too far gone. She doesn't deserve to live anymore. There's nothing we can do to save her now. Like, there's just.
No.
Damn.
Now we retarded again.
My motherfucker turned into this. My
Yeah.
motherfucker turned into Timmy and Kyle with the fucking AR.
Nah, dude.
The way he slammed me in that
Only
locker,
in my
he doesn't
imagination,
deserve to
only in
live
my
anymore.
Nah, seriously though. But there's just so many people that I don't think I've met too many people like that. But there's people out there. It's just like, bro, like there's no saving this person. They can't be a normal person anymore. I don't know what's happened to them. Truly been traumatized. But I think we just gotta put them down.
Alright, check all the shit before work tomorrow.
Other than that, college was fun. Whew. COVID happened, but overall, vibe.
Playing intramurals. That shit was
Just
whack.
the party atmosphere is up.
I'm like man, playing those games. I was like the fastest nigga every time during our games, especially during flag football. All them niggas were slow, and man, I'd fucking take off a mile. Fucking like I still be in range for our
Oh, you play flag
thrower
football
to
at
throw it.
Rose?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
No, Cap, I ain't getting none of that. What are you
bro.
talking about?
Dude,
You skipping out.
I was on flag football team, and
It's the IM team.
It's
our
still
our
skipping.
quarter. What are you talking about? What?
You're just skipping. Let me.
Nigga, you skipping, bro. You need to get your shit together.
You're skipping face.
I feel offended.
I was like, am I tripping? I don't know. It might be me.
He's fine on my end.
Okay, so yeah, I guess me.
Man. Anyways, my quarterback for flag football just never fucking threw me the ball, despite me always being open and fucking having nobody on me. Damn near, like I'm still in range for them to throw it, and I can catch it, but they just never threw it to me. And no matter how loud I fucking shouted for them to throw it to me, or how high I jumped up in the air, they always threw it fucking short to somebody close, and then they'd get their flag fucking taken, and I'm just sitting there shitty,
That's my basketball career in a nutshell.
bro. And then the enemy team eventually realized that I've taken off on them, and that I'm long gone, ready to fucking catch something. It's like, hey, go get him, and then it doesn't even matter because he
Yep.
never threw it to me. The one time he
Basically.
did throw it to me, he fucking threw it way too short.
Down
Even though I know he's throwing it much further, he just threw it short that time,
That was one
like
thing
abysmally short.
I hate. That's why I don't like. This ain't got nothing to do with that kind of necessarily. But I will say, I hate when coaches blame you for something that's not your fault. Really, like I feel like in a lot of my sports experience, like yes is like it's not that I'm completely like my thing is like it's not that I'm completely right. It's that address every person who was a part of the problem of the play. Don't just go to the last person who just so happened to be the end of the mistake. Like don't I hated that.
I think the only time I ever got like really visibly frustrated to the point of crying at in a sport because of a coach or like my teammates, right, was probably when I was playing at Thatcher, and I had I think it was me. I don't know if Khalid and all of them were playing. I think it was just me and Laurent were on the same team, right? And all the team, everybody in the teammates, like the coaches were like, nobody let me play my game. And so I felt like they wanted me to run shit in a way that I didn't think was fucking effective at all because we were running like 3, 4 guards, and even though we were talented, they didn't want to share the fucking ball, right? And so I'm like, if you take the ball out of my hands, then we're going to have this really fucking stagnant offense. And so if you give me the ball, let me get into my comfort zone and let me see what I can fucking do, then I'll make this work. But I think they went they favored the guards that were far more aggressive. Um, and what ended up happening to me was that like whenever I remember there was one game where I made a really stupid fucking retarded pass, right? Because I'm just out of it at this point. And there's one time where like I'm going up for a shot, I get blocked. And it's just a genuinely good block. I don't really know what else to say there. It was just a good defensive play by that guy. And right, and at some point I get to the bench. I'm trying to fuck it. They're like getting on me, and I'm like, no, I passed it to you because blah 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 blah. And everybody starts getting on me. And at one point, I just fucking put my headband over my fucking mouth. I'm just like, I'm just gonna be quiet. Like, it's fucking whatever. I go over to the fucking stands. Laurent's dad is just like, honestly, bro, you just need to take the fucking ball and do whatever, cause y'all not gonna win unless you just start playing like you. And eventually, like once they put me back on the bench, which meant that I had the ball, our bench unit was fire. Like our bench unit was fine because everybody liked to pass the ball. We were just playing good basketball, right? But the starting fucking lineup, I was like, damn, nigga, get me out of here. I hated this shit. That was probably the only time I got frustrated to the point where I was just like, I don't even want to play this fucking sport anymore, dog. Just get me out of here. The only other times I think I've cried, um, holy fuck, that is a lot of pictures. Hold on. The only other portion where I think I've cried, playing a sport, where just like, one thing was not even my fault. It wasn't because of the coach though. It was when I fouled out at 46 and I had 3 fouls, and they were logging Thomas's fouls on me, because because I was fucking shitting on them that game. My God, my nigga, Jesus Christ, them niggas. There's no. I still stand by the fact there's no way they win that game if I don't get fucking subbed out. If I'm still in, ain't no goddamn way in hell. And the only other time was like I made a mistake. I was playing baseball. I think it was I think it might have been my final year, right? And there's a ball, I guess that's hit to me. I'm playing second base. There's a guy going towards third. I make a bad throw towards third. Ball goes out of play. They end up scoring one. At that point, we're up like 4-0 though, and it's like top of the fifth or top of the sixth or some shit, right? And I end up putting my fucking head down. I'm over here kind of pissed off and shit, right? And then they proceed to fucking roll the shit out of us for the next like 2 innings, and we're done. Like we're up 4-0. We end that fucking inning. I think we were down like 8-4. They just rolled off a spree of fucking runs on us. So I felt like I had just given it up. And then at the end of the game, I was bawling and fucking tears. I was just pissed off. But that wasn't because of the coach. The only time I got pissed off because of a coach was because of that shit that I already said earlier. Just like niggas not letting me play my game, or just not putting me on the fucking second unit where you know, if you're not going to put the ball in my fucking hands, it's not like I can't play off ball. It's just I know we're better off when I have the ball. So give me the fucking ball. We're gonna be fine.
And it's that first point that I really don't like in coaching is that when they favor a certain style of play instead of assessing everyone on their team and being like, okay, let me put together people who play together well instead of people who just play well. And that's what I hated about our high school basketball team, because I feel like we would have got more wins if they wouldn't have forced their style on us instead of like letting us play the game that we would naturally play as a team or like individuals. Example, me. I am a shooter. Niggas know there is like 100% of the time they would rather me shoot a three than go in for a layup. Like literally, I've missed free open layups my entire life, my guy. I don't know what it is. Backboard don't like me. But like it's obvious that I at least want to be a shooter. Whether I'm good at it or not doesn't really matter. It's like I want to be a shooter, and I have a natural like what's it called? I have a natural Kuriko mindset where I can get people's blind spots like easily, super easily, and like for 4 seconds I'll just be open. But my problem was no one ever got me the ball, and that was more because they thought I was ass, which I'm like, okay, that's cool. But like at the same time, like coaches wouldn't try and either, I don't know, lead me towards the right direction of their playstyle or whatever, or kind of let me play how
If
I
you don't,
would.
yeah, if you don't have
They
a
would just
guard,
bench.
if there are certain people, there are role players, right? And if you don't have
Exactly.
a star player or some sort of guard, somebody who has the ball that can get those people working, then it's hard. Like it's tough, right? And the problem that I've always had, right, is that Gorski never really had any plays and never ran anything to get people open. And so when I would get the ball, I was just like, okay, it is now my job to get Marlon somehow in the corner or let him get the attention off of Marlon so he can leak to the corner or get everybody wherever the fuck they need to be. So as long as everybody stayed moving and knew how to run off ball, then I would get you the ball. I didn't have a problem giving people the ball. I remember uh, I didn't realize how I didn't start taking advantage of the fact that I was open all the time and that I was so fucking small until like maybe like fifth or sixth grade because people would sag off of me and they wouldn't really give me the ball much. And so once I started to get the ball, like I would think, oh fuck, I gotta make this because it's gonna be my only time to get it right. But at some point I realized I was like, oh shit, because they don't know I'm here, I can create a bunch of pressure by just making a move and passing it to somebody else who can do something more with it. At some point, I ended up getting better at just basketball, period. Like, I was a better scorer. I was way more fucking aggressive. I was a better passer. So the ball just ended up being in my hands, and I just made whatever plays that I thought were fucking necessary. I just did what I thought was the best thing to do. Um, it's just, you know.
Yeah, and
Nowadays,
like
yeah. Nowadays, I probably would be a better player now because I'm a much better scorer only because I'm way more fucking aggressive now. Where like back then I would get to certain parts, but I'm way more aggressive now in the sense that like if I get the ball, I'm so confident in how I'm physically built that if I get into the paint, I don't really give a fuck who's there. I'm just like, oh yeah, he could be like 250. I don't really care. I'm going in, and there's not much he can do about it. I'm just more athletic than this person, so I don't care. And now I'm a better shooter because of the quarantine and shit. But yeah,
yeah,
hello,
and
person in
and
chat.
honestly,
How are you?
I found that over time I was never scared of opponents, like because I would go out and sometimes be nervous. Uh, like just when I'm playing and it's obvious that I'm like not all the way in it because like obviously like I was kind of had game nerves,
Oh,
but that was never because the size of the opponent or the athleticism of the opponent. It was always because, bro, I'm in, and like any mistake I make, I'm out. Like literally there was so much pressure on because coaches never have trust
they don't have
in
faith in you.
at least, all I'm asking is at least 80 to 90% of your players. Like if you got like if I'm one of the 1 or 2 players who you're like, I don't know if we can trust you. I'm like, I can live with that because that just means I'm ass. But like when literally you only trust 5 to 6 people and you have to run them into the ground instead of trying to bring this team together, and then they encourage being not being like a teammate to the players, but not saying that. So it's like because we never get to play with these starters or like the main six or whatever, we can't grow together with them or anything like that. So you're just encouraging them to be very selfish unless they're playing with these same guys. So when you do have to put people in because someone's in foul trouble or someone gets hurt or someone's like, I don't know, just sick or whatever, someone's not there that game, like it's the of course we're gonna play worse because we don't have any confidence in ourselves because you literally don't give us any. Because
And a
my
good
thing is
play,
like,
yeah, and a good coach will put out rotations so that you always have somebody that maximizes people on the court, right? Like that's why I always said there's no reason me and Khalid should both be on the floor, right? Because if he's on the floor, chances are if he wants to run the point correctly, then he'll get people the ball. The problem is I know he would not, right? So
mm,
when he was on the floor, what I always kept saying was that like, hey, Khalid, you should not be a point guard. You should honestly be playing the three for us because you're tall enough to do it. You're primarily a scorer, and you're long enough to be defensively good, right? So there's no point for you to play the three. When I got off the court, most of the time the person handling the ball was actually Marlon, and Marlon was a much better fucking playmaker than Khalid was, but yeah, it's the coach's job to put out rotations that will maximize the role player's effectiveness, which is why like I always felt that if right like the one lineup that always worked well our last year was if me and Thomas were both in and it didn't matter who the fuck else was there, right? Because like as long as he sets my fucking screen, I'll find a way to get him the ball or somebody open. The fact of the matter is I'm quick enough to come off of a screen to just dive and get whatever the hell I want most of the time, or at least back then. And you need a playmaker if you're not going to. You need some playmaker that can run an offense. The problem is that a lot of coaches will get a playmaker, or they'll get a playmaker that only makes plays for himself and not other people. Or
and then I feel like for our team, like he could potentially make plays for like the good of the team, but like I said, like they would encourage this.
They would put in the mindset that that you are the star player and everybody else is ass, and so he feels as if he has to make all
or
of.
You would either build up his ego to where he wouldn't want to do it, or subconsciously he would feel like the coach is gonna think less of him because he's doing what's best for the team. Because he's giving other people moments to shine and stuff like that, and that's what I hated. Because us as like when we talked without the coaches around, we all understood who did what best or like who was most comfortable with certain things. But like, it was no way you could go against the coach because they have this like almighty stance on everything, and they don't. And like for us, they never listened to us really. Like they would act like they're listening, but they really weren't. And that's what I hated was because like you guys are playing like you guys do not want us to become a team, and that's what I really don't like about.
I remember when we were going up against 27, and I think it's Kenneth's uncle is coaching us at the time, right? He's on the bench. No, he's a much better coach than Gorski ever fucking was, right? He was probably the best coach we've had at my time at that school, right? But he was like, no, throw the ball back towards their basket. And note it's like a 4-point game, and I guess it's a 3-point game, right? But no, we don't have a 3-point line at our school, so it doesn't matter, right? And we're over here telling him on the sideline, we're like, what? That doesn't make any sense, bro. That's stupid. Why would we do that? No, stop. Why? And he's like, just do it. And we're like, oh my fucking god. So we do it. Ball immediately gets stolen, and we're like, oh my fucking god. So me and Thomas go down to fucking contest the shit for a block. Thomas nips it. I'm just contesting it. Game's over. We win. But like, we're sitting there, and I'm sitting there walking back to the bench like, damn, nigga, what was you thinking? like, why didn't you just listen to us, bro? It was obvious they were going to play backcourt. You could have just gotten me the ball. We were up 3. Like, I'm going to make at least one of these free throws. Note that game, I had 27 points. And I had like 12 to 13 of them off of free throws. So it's just like, hello, I'm going to make the free throw, dog. We'll be good, just, you know.
And then, for my personal experience, I feel like I hated when people would get surprised during games where I play well, because in the games where I played well was games where I was in my element. Like, I was shooting the shots I wanted to shoot. I was like I had teammates on the. It usually happen when there's like 1 or 2 of the starters in, and then 3 of us are like the bench or reserve players. And it's like I know how these people play, and that's when I turn into the playmaker where it's like, oh snap, because like point guard's got into foul trouble, oh snap, somebody's got to step up. And for me, I was more like the 7th man of the team, I guess. So like I wasn't first off the bench, but I was definitely one of the first. Kind of like the accidental 6th man sometimes. And like when that would happen, I would literally step up to the job. Like I remember one specific pass where I literally faked out the entirety of the whole team and made old boy look like one of our centers look like one of the best centers in the world. But it was based off my pass that he even got to do.
Oh, you played with fucking Ryan, didn't you? tall ass nigga I used to play baseball with that guy. He was a nasty pitcher, bro. I hated having to fucking go against practice with that nigga. He was easily the best pitcher in our whole fucking league. So it made it easy when I went up against other fucking pitchers, but damn, when that nigga threw a fucking curveball, that motherfucker went right for our face. I said, "You gotta be kidding me, dog! Like, why? That's like 80 miles an hour. Aren't you like 12, nigga? Like, what are you doing? Why are you so tall?"
No, but yeah, it's like I would have moments where people would forget that they don't like the way I play. Because you already know I do some unorthodox stuff.
I mean, you do some, you be
I'm
taking
in
some
my
crazy,
element.
awful, bad, shitty, terrible shots. But like, at some point, I just realized I was like, well, I mean, like, if I can just make those shots occur less often by getting him in the ball in a place where he's open by drawing his fucking defender, or I just make the play myself, then we'll be fine, right?
Exactly.
Like,
and I'm actually cool with that. Like, I'm not out here just to shoot every shot. I'm like not jealous. I'm not like I enjoy assists more than I enjoy scoring.
Yeah, there are just some people that struggle to create their own shot, which is the point of the ball handler, to get people open shots. So like if they can't create their own shot, then we go to create the fucking shot for them. We either make a shot for ourselves or everybody else. So
and it's kind of like the building half the bridge thing for me too, because it's like I would literally handle getting myself opened for you, so you don't even have to do that, and then I still wouldn't get the ball, and it's like. And I'm like, oh my lord.
Motherfucker sitting there with his legs hanging off the bridge dangling, waiting for a motherfucker to pass on the ball.
Because the one moment I love to
got the campfire up on the bridge.
One game we were up by like 20-30. Like, it was obvious we were not going to lose this game. And I literally had the ball up the court because they were like pressing us, like half court pressing us. And then I got across. Literally stops right after, like in my head, I didn't know I was doing this, but I stopped right after the half court line and just shot it. No thought. I just like, as soon as I stepped, I just felt it, and I was like, boom. And then I immediately like look down, see how far away from the 3-point line I am, and I look over to my coach, and he's already got a dude like tugging on his man's jersey to take me out. But then it just immediately splashes in, like the most wettest, perfect shot you've ever heard in your life.
I remember dude at Rose when we were doing intramurals. We're down by 3. We got like 5 seconds left, something like that. And I'm like, bro, get closer, take a good shot. Motherfucker pulls that bitch from half court, banks it, and I just look at him and I'm like, he pulls it, and I turn around and look at him like, what the fuck are you doing? And then I turn back around and that bitch drops and I go, okay, sure,
yeah,
all right.
That's like, what people don't understand is, yes, my playstyle is unorthodox. Yes, like, I'm not.
Hey, bro, but I'm not gonna lie. If I see anybody pour from half court and I don't know them to be a shooter, like, if I see anybody not named like Laron or Marlon and they pull that motherfucker from half court, I'm scratching my head, dog. Like, I'm looking at whoever pulled it crazy. I don't care who it is.
Exactly, man. But the thing is, the problem was that people know me to be a shooter. It's just not like their authentic way that they see.
Yeah, but if I see you pull from half court, I'm still sitting there like, "Aight, nigga, look,
I know,
don't do that shit again."
And I let that slide because like understandable. But like what people don't understand is I've never taken a shot in my life that I do not think I could make. Not saying I didn't make those, but like I'm not taking a shot just to take a shot. Like I really think I can make the shot. And when I shot that dude, you like as a player. In any sport, you just know when you take that one step and you feel it, you're like, oh yeah, this is going in. And that was one of those moments. I just so happened to be standing really close to that court line.
That's when you just do a heat check.
But I just took that step and I was like, this is the spot. This is the spot, and it's going in.
Motherfucker was on the bench for 20 minutes, get something in the game, pulls from half court. Niggas like, oh, it's just a heat check. I was just making sure I still had. We sit there like, hey yo, nigga, what the fuck?
He got the ball thrown into him in a high school game, and then fucking the point guard's already at the 3, and meanwhile he's just sitting here at half court like, you know what the take this shot and then fucking hits it.
Yes, like literally everybody thought I was gonna run, like I was running guard at this point because like they needed it's probably like Andre or Tion out for like a couple minutes because they were in foul trouble or whatever. I literally stepped right past. I think like, and like I could hear the people on the sidelines, they like talking shit because it's the other team, and I literally just stepped past the line and sink the perfect shot. It's literally nothing but net, and they're like, whoa. And I'm like, oh yeah, dude. Like I'm not the best player on this court, but I'm not just like out here to play games. I still want to win. Like that's what people don't understand. Not like every player, even if they're not the best, they're still out there to win. So if you play to their strengths at least, then like that's what I want from a team. Like coaches will always say, "Oh, it's not about winning. Oh, it's like it's all about teamwork. Oh, I don't care if we go out there and lose by 40. I want you guys to play your game." But then like go out and not let people play their game. That's what I don't like about most coaches.
I'm not trying to lose by 40. I don't ever. I'm gonna tell you what. If I ever play for a fucking coach again, that's ever is like, I don't care how well you guys do. I just want you guys to go out and do your thing. I'm gonna really be like, all right, then you not my coach no more, bitch. Because I'm not trying to. I'm not going out here trying to lose, nigga. What? What are you talking about? I don't care if we lose by 40. Well, nigga, I do. Like, what am I walking out here for if I'm about to get 50 balled? Huh?
For me, like,
why am I
for
here?
Me, the moral of the story when coaches say that is like I can't believe a coach if they say that, cause like
you really lying to me, dog.
Like I can't believe you because it's cap, bro. Ain't nobody's like said that.
Why would you even bother to? Why would you even bother to tell me that? Like, hello, niggas be
like,
over here walking into a
that,
test.
They try to make
you
feel better, so you like, you know, like they're like, I'm gonna let you play your game, even though they really don't. Like, no coach wants to lose or wants to get blown out by 50. So every time they say that, you know it's cap.
I remember that stupid ass noodle play. Oh my god. Of course he fucking ran for Jaina. Noodle. It wasn't even a fucking play. It was just a double screen at the top of the fucking key. It's a double screen at half court. She flanks to one of the sides. Both of the rollers or both of the people that set the screen, I believe, just pop, and that was it. Whereas, I mean, you didn't do anything. There was no off-ball movement at all. Like, if you've ever learned an actual basketball play, they're way more fucking complicated, right? Like, everybody has their role. Whereas, like, his idea of a play was, we just set a fucking double screen at the top of the key, and then Jaina does something with the fucking ball. And by something, we mean barely gets past the screen and pulls up for a random half-court three. Yeah, Jaina. I remember there was one time we lost at 56 by, like, it was bad. It was, like, 60, 70 points or some shit like that, right? And it's cause it's like, and at one point, we're all arguing on the bench, and he's like, "Well, stop complaining about Janie getting the ball because she's the only person that scored." And we're like, "Well, of course she is. We've ran this fucking noodle play like 80 fucking times, and she's the ball handler like every fucking time. Duh." Marquise at that point wasn't really a shooter, although he was a really good player, and like, I mean, like nobody else had the ball for a substantial amount of time to do anything, right? So it's like, what the fuck are we supposed to do here? And in terms of talent, we were just kind of outmatched, right? Like we had good players on that team, but we didn't get the chance to work together because she was in the offense too fucking much, and she wasn't good enough to really be in the offense. Like if instead you swap that team with like me, Marlon, Alicio, Jay Sean, and like a good Thomas, that's a way better fucking team. It's a way better team than whatever the fuck we. Oh, I'm sorry, and Marquise was there, right? So I guess maybe instead of like me, Marlon, Jay Sean, Marquise, Thomas, and you have Alicio come off the bench with like Laron, Khalid. I mean, like that's a nasty ass lineup, dog. I mean, you could always swap me and Khalid or some shit, but I just said me because of just the play style, and I just thought that like you have Marquise and Thomas out there, you have two tall ass niggas. It's just like you put me in a pick and roll with one of them, and I'll find a way to get them the ball, like so. But yeah,
yeah, like that was just basically me. Like I would rather like I just never met a coach who was willing to let a team be the team that they can be instead of like pushing their ideas on the team itself.
I found it
That's
whack.
just making me mad.
I find it whack that coaches don't pay attention to like the warm up before a basketball game. Like at our high school, the coaches would not pay attention to that shit. Cause I remember there was one game in particular where like I was just hitting like I hit like 80% of my fucking shots during warm up, and I was just like really feeling it. And despite that, the coach wasn't paying attention at all. So meanwhile, when the game starts, like the fucking majority of our players are just fucking missing shots. I'm like, man, I'm out. I could be out there fucking hitting all the shots that I didn't warm up, and they weren't even fucking hitting shit in warm up. So I was just kind of shitty.
Oh yeah, like they would rather have their star players who are cold or out of it that game than have like the bench players who are like
But
warmed
again,
up and
that's
ready
a
to
that's
go.
a sign of a not experienced or a bad coach. It's just like they're a good coach would notice that and they would go, okay, these are going to be my first options once we get into the game. If somebody goes cold, we'll see how they work. And if they're not planning out, then we'll sub back in the better player. But
Yeah,
that's when
exactly.
you
Like
have
there
to
was
know. That's when you have to know to make the swap. Like this is not complicated shit. I hate to simplify. I hate to draw this fucking or to say this, but it's like any nigga that has played 2K and is actually competent at the fucking game could tell you any of this shit. Like sometimes, or if you've just watched basketball ever in general, period.
yeah.
Like there are days when you're like, oh, this nigga is really on. Like this nigga is on some shit. I don't know why Mario Chalmers is hitting every single three he takes, but damn it, he is. So put him in the game, god damn it. Give him the ball every single time. I mean, like,
Exactly, and that's why
yeah.
I would hate when niggas are surprised that some games I'm just in my element. I'm just hitting everything. I'm hitting every like
Players
that one
typically
game
will
that
know
you were
though.
at, Sudi, when I
That shit
apparently
was
crossed
funny
over
as
Marlon
fuck.
when that nigga
He
slipped.
he
Like
slipped, yeah, but that shit was
I
still
was
funny as
scoring
shit. I still died.
everything
I was like, wow.
that game.
That nigga,
I was
that nigga fell and you nigga touched the ground and you popped that bitch. And then when I said, wow, I said glitch in the simulation. This the worst timeline. Why? I'm out here sitting on the bench with a broken wrist and a cast, and I see this nigga drop to the floor. I'm like, this gotta be the worst timeline. He's gonna hate himself going back to school on Monday, dog.
yeah, cause like I hit that shot and then after that I hit like three other floaters
Yeah, it was.
in a
That shit was
row, and
pretty
I'm
wild. I
like,
was like,
bro, and
alright.
everybody's like, whoa, like, like, yeah, be surprised, cause nigga, I was on the bench the entire time for every other game, so like, you wouldn't know how I play. So they like, and like, that was one of those games where I was getting like upset,
Mm-hmm.
cause like, it was at the when I first got in, no one was getting me the ball, so I was like, all right, if I touch the ball, y'all not touching it, cause I like, this is the only time I get to have the ball, and it just so happened that I was just hitting everything.
Yeah.
Oh, but it felt good to cross Marlon over one time. It felt good. It felt good.
Yeah, cross, quote unquote. I had
It
to
wasn't
defend
really.
that nigga
I
because
know that
I
nigga
gotta
slipped. I
defend that
knew
nigga
that
because
nigga
he was on
slipped.
my team because
I heard it.
he's definitely on my team. But I will not lie, from the bench, that shit looked really bad, dog. Like that shit looked really bad, bro.
Really
Him hitting the floor like that made my wrist hurt, nigga. I was like, I said, damn, nigga, that looks so bad. And then you pulled up and made it. That's the worst part. I was like, as soon as you did that shot, I said, well, nobody gonna care if you'll admit,
Yeah, nobody gonna care if I missed, but I
this
did.
pretty
And I
bad.
hit like every other shot in the game. I pretty much hit too.
That was definitely a game where I felt like I was like, damn, I really wish I wasn't injured. I'd really be plastering these niggas right now. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I thought y'all team was ass. I really thought I was really
Oh,
wanting
yeah.
to go up. I really wanted to go up against fucking Ryan, cause even though he was like 6'6" or 6'7" or whatever, I was like, I can slaughter this nigga in the paint. I swear to God, I could. I can get this nigga in foul trouble and we'll be good. But just like,
Oh yeah. And I think like what made our like even that team, for example, what made our team bad was because we had a coach who had a certain style of play for himself, and he was literally, instead of looking at us as a team like, how can I finagle this and put something together, make a combo real quick of this team, make them into something, he just forced his own ideals of what he thinks basketball is, instead of like, just kind of listening by analyzing your players and figuring out how you want us to play that way.
Yeah, I never had this problem, but I remember like in high school, like since I was so fucking short, bro, like it's kind of hard to shoot shit. But
I
like
definitely had that
despite
problem when I
that,
was younger.
doing practice, like I got kind of shitty. Also, just watching games when we would have a center who just played like a fucking absolute
Like
pussy.
a bitch. I hate centers in high school because I remember the very first year we were doing like summer gym, and me and Khalid are playing in the park with this one guy, and he's like 6'5", 6'6", tall ass white guy. He ends up playing on the basketball team at some point, and he sets a fucking screen, and he's sitting like damn near at the top of the key, and I'm like, bro, why the fuck are you not diving? Like, why are you not dipping? He's like, you ever heard of a pick and pop? And I said to this nigga, you're 6'5". What the hell are you popping for? Get down in the paint. What are you doing? I could have just lobbed you the ball. We would have been done with this. Like, I just throw like 20 lobs to you and we're out of here. Like, shut up. I hate when niggas are big.
There would be some times where they would try and incorporate role players and have specific like plays meant for these role players, i.e., like everybody who the coach like didn't think was good, pretty much. Like so for me, like they literally had a time where they specifically wanted me to shoot certain shots, and I was ready to shoot those shots, but they never got me the ball to do it.
Bro, motherfucking Kevin Durant ruined everything, nigga. Nigga's like, he's too damn tall. He's like 7 foot and he pulls up from 35 feet out. He ruined it for everybody, dog. Because now, every big ass nigga just wants to set a screen and be like, I want to be a guard too. Dude, you have a foot advantage over the next tallest nigga on the court. Go to the paint. Please, nigga. You know how high I can throw you the ball? There's no way it's getting stolen. Just go down. Please. And niggas don't ever want to win. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. I hated that shit, bro. Alright, well, I think this is probably where I'm gonna call the end of the fucking stream, because I'm gonna get ready for work tomorrow. How long is this laptop orientation gonna take, though? I think it said it's gonna take, like, I have a 2-hour period or some shit. What the fuck's the
Man, all I know is in my head, I had formed a team which could have been so good for us in high school, but the coaches just didn't want to experiment, which is the one thing I hated. Like, it's one thing, like, I know you're gonna have your favorites, even though you always say you won't, but we all know you are. Like, but it's still like being able to experiment at least with the entire team is just all we pretty much asked for, because you never knew what you were gonna get, because you never knew what you're gonna get because you never tried anything with the team as a whole. You just had your 5 that you collared. So when they're in a bind, there's no saving the team because you didn't nurture everybody on the team.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream. For anybody that's watching this or stop by, thanks for fucking coming. Any last words from anybody?
I've been inting this entire time.
I hate being short.
Short nigga problems, struggles. I used to be fucking what was I? Like 4'7" until about the end of 7th grade, and I like spiked up to 5'2". Ooh, wow. And then I hit a growth spurt and I hit like 5'9" or whatever. I'm just not.
It's mostly tough for short players because like if you're short, they expect you to be a ball handler off rip.
What was nice was that like when I was short, I was just like niggas just ignored me. They just didn't find me on the court. So it's kind of funny, and I took advantage of that. And then because nobody, figured me out, I just ended up getting better.
Oh yeah,
and, I just evolved my skill set, and that was it. But
what made me mad was that people did figure me out. So like I would just kind of sit and like I said, I can get in a blind spot easily. So like I would sit in these blind spots, and like people would see me open, and I would be open, and I'd get the ball, and I'd shoot, and I'd make it. But then as soon as people start like actually defending me, like it's like they're too scared to give me the ball now.
Oh, it's an Ethernet cable. What the fuck? Oh, I don't need this. Oh, it's an Ethernet dongle.
My teammates didn't notice me, and the enemies didn't notice me. So.
Enemies.
It was a win-lose
Motherfucker
situation, so.
said that shit like a Fire Emblem enemy. He said this shit like he was playing Fire Emblem. The enemies didn't notice me. The ops were not onto my location.
I'd be in the car yelling at my dad, like, bro, I know you saw every time I was open. And he's like, bro, you gotta tell him, you gotta let him know, you gotta scream. I was like, you saw me clapping, you saw me yelling, like, I was there, bro. I was jumping up and down. Like,
But sometimes, honestly, bro, sometimes you gotta shoot. Yeah, sometimes.
Exactly, like, and then I was like, bro, but if I do that, then the enemy's like, oh shoot, go get him. Like,
This nigga said the enemy too. Pumping the guy, everybody on his dog thing is the enemy.
Freaking dang it. They'd be like, Tyrone, go get him or something like that. And I'd be like, dang, that ruins the whole element of surprise.
Tyrone, attack the enemy from the left flank. Okay. I know.
Gosh darn it. You did give me this. Like I said, like, we haven't been, like, I'm not the best at, like, I feel like I had a lot of potential that nobody really could see and nobody wanted to, like, nobody had the patience to try and, like, make something out of.
Am I supposed to do anything with all this shit?
But it's whatever.
Dude, somebody asked me in the comments. I was gonna ask you at one point. They just said Minecraft question mark. I was gonna be like, hey, what's your Mojang account, dog?
Oh wow.
Just gonna pull a Corey and get you set up. Ooh, damn, this is a really nice laptop, dog. This motherfucker that Cisco gave me, god damn. I'm so sad I gotta send this bitch back. I did in the summer.
You have to give it back?
Cry. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's company
upsetting.
laptop. Yeah, I know, right? It's so nice, too. So nice. Wow. Hold on. I don't know, though. Maybe when I come back next year, I'll be lucky enough to get the same one. I doubt it. They'll probably wipe everything, because there's no reason not to, but yeah. My instructions said to not do anything, I think, right? They just said, don't attempt to log into your laptop prior to the virtual event. On day one, we'll make sure you have what you need or following policies to make sure everything runs. Keep the box. On the day of the virtual meeting, log in to the WebEx meeting, connect your laptop, power it on, log in with the provided temporary password, go to the Wi-Fi, open up the WebEx meeting link. So should I do this before? I feel like I'm supposed to do this before the event starts. But it said don't attempt to log in prior to the virtual event.
I do miss basketball though. That shit makes me mad.
I played one-on-one with Khalid just like last week or the week before or something like that. That was fun, but it was like we only played to like 10 and I was fucking exhausted. I came out and I scored like 8 straight points. Then I got tired and that nigga just started trying to take advantage of it and was just getting like hustle points. And then I scored one more bucket and I was like, oh, you are. Yeah. I didn't realize how exhausting basketball is, bro. God damn. Just god damn. I mean, it didn't help that it was like 88, 90 fucking degrees outside and the sun was beaming on our asses, but god damn. Like, that was hard. I really wish, bro, I really wish I could have gone to Cali, bro. I would have loved to have played basketball against these niggas, even though most of them probably don't even play basketball, because I work for a CS company. But, like, you know, I'm doing CS for a fucking company. But who knows? Probably would have met some people at Cisco outside of the fucking STEM departments, right? That's the thing that I'm starting to realize now. I'm like, damn, I was going to Cisco in Cali. I probably would not have only have seen CS people. I would have been seeing so many other fucking people, man. Hopefully I get a return offer though. The only thing that I'm worried about with the return offer is that if hypothetically I do get a return offer, right? The problem that I have is that the trip to Aizu, I don't believe I'm supposed to be done until like end of June or some shit, right? So like, and the latest start date I thought this year for the internship was like June 15th. So I kind of got to figure that out, cause I mean, worst case scenario, I would try to figure out if I could either start later or if I could just maybe try to finish the semester up early. But I don't really know. I gotta figure that all out. Let me see if I can get on that application website.
I missed organized basketball, like organized sports in general, because I miss soccer too and baseball. But like, so sad. I feel like that's not a wasted time, but I feel like that time had so much potential that coaches ruined for me. Because I would watch other teams
this is fucking
like
ass.
have their unorthodox player, but they, instead of shying away and ignoring it, they would like invest in.
They would learn how to play
off.
through that nigga. Yeah.
It
Just like what we did with Thomas, where it was just like that last year. I was like, no, let's get Thomas working with Kenneth's dad or uncle or dad or whatever. And eventually he ended up working up a post game, and I'm like, I don't think y'all understand that like, if Thomas becomes good or playable, we can actually win. Like,
exactly.
like we can win
and that's
a
my
lot.
thing I hated about coaches. They would see people who aren't currently playable and immediately ignore them and kind of, give them the pep talk to keep them on the team, keep the numbers up, but they wouldn't invest any of their time in them to at least get somewhat close the gap between like them and the more talented players. And that's, I just hated to see it. I hated living through it. And it created such attitudes and egos between team members. It kind of like kept us from becoming a true team. Shit made me mad.
Alright, well, let me go ahead and end this stream real quick before I end up staying up too fucking long. Thanks everybody for coming. And remember, it sucks to be a short ass nigga. That's really tough, Popo. Keep them bridges up.